From its founding in 1968, Sterling Sound was built on the willingness to take bold risks in the pursuit of higher fidelity music releases. Unhappy with the sound of vinyl records, Lee Holko, Sterling's founder, envisioned mastering as a separate, standalone creative process. He purchased the first VMS-66, Neumann's state-of-the-art cutting system, and the modern mastering studio was born. The leap in fidelity attracted a team of superbly talented mastering engineers, including Bob Ludwig, George Marino, Greg Calby, Ted Jensen, and later Tom Coyne. The clients followed, and Sterling grew to become the most celebrated name in mastering. When we bought the company, part of our deal was to build a 27,000 or 28,000 square foot facility in the Chelsea market, and we had a 20-year lease. The project in the Chelsea market happened at such an exciting time for us. We owned the company and we could put our imprint on it. Chris GEHRINGER joined the team in 1999. During the Chelsea years, we embraced the electronic workflow and expanded our reach internationally. We were privileged to work with so many talented artists across all genres and styles. There were achievements to be proud of, but there were also sad times. As far back as 2011, we knew we would have to move when our lease was up. We had to reinvent ourselves one more time. We left our longtime home of Manhattan and developed 2 studios, one in Edgewater, New Jersey, and one in Nashville, Tennessee. The engineers took the final step towards sonic accuracy by giving up freestanding loudspeakers and adopting the unified design. This was executed brilliantly by Thomas Georgian of Northward Acoustics.
Working with Sterling, it was actually pretty different from working with other clients. When I visited the old studios, I realized that they all had their thing going, and I think, how am I going to satisfy 6 different major league engineers? The rooms are 2 environments in one, so the speakers don't really have any interaction with the room. In the last 20 years, the requirements for low-frequency performance, the changes have been dramatic. In the 80s, when I was a kid listening to music, you barely had any sub-frequencies. In the last 20 years, we're using a couple octaves more than we used to. And to me, this is where high definition is these days.
I always say anybody could have a successful mastering session, but to be really effective in the job, you have to have a pretty high batting average. I have as much insecurity about my work as anybody. I just don't project it. It's very important to me to feel dissatisfied until I'm satisfied.
How I trained at Sterling, we had this huge library of every record that I listened to growing up. Led Zeppelin II, all these Traffic records. I mean, it was amazing. I'd go in at night and say, what do I want to listen to? And I'd pull off Led Zeppelin, check the notes, and see if I could make it better.
When I work with a client for the first time, I treat them like the biggest star on the planet, because in all the years that I've been doing this, I have dealt with clients for the first time that have turned out to be the biggest stars on the planet.
I've been with the company for 16 years. When I was hired, I was Ted's assistant. After spending several years working under Ted, then I got to work under George and see another legend of the business. One of the things I love about my job is I love music.
I started experimenting and becoming obsessed with sound when I was very young. My dad got me a 4-track and a sampler. I used to produce electronic and hip-hop beats. During that time, I was always mixing and mastering. I pride myself on having a wide range of music that I work on.
I started at Sterling as an assistant to Tom Coyne. It was a great experience. He was a great mentor. I love the variety. In a single day, I can work on many different genres of music. I just like how sounds affect me.
Sterling's engineers are uniquely talented, but what allows them to work so consistently at such a high level is the team behind them.
Sterling was one of the first independent mastering studios. It was kind of a gamble in a way. That spirit remains. It's a privilege to be part of it.
The challenge that you face when you build a new facility is to take all the accumulated knowledge and build upon that to make something that pushes the boundaries even further.
Sterling Sound throughout its history has been good at adapting. There's a lot of interesting things coming. For the future, there's virtualization, cloud collaboration, audio over IP initiatives that we'll be looking at if we're not looking at them already.
We focus on line of business applications. In the last year, we've been working on certified transfers, which is an integrated file management, file transfer, and archiving system. There's a real art to building applications that people can use for 10 hours a day.
Because We got to execute these studios in a way that we never thought would have been possible at this stage because half of our senior engineers are in their 40s. I've never really been more excited about what we can deliver. So I feel like that's brought it full circle to finally feeling comfortable with the legacy of the company.